Matters of business still to be dealt with. I've got Mr. Dali Mpofu of the EFF with us here. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Yeban.
Let's start at the beginning. You've made the 1 million mark nationally. Your reaction to that and then overall to how people have come out and supported you.
Yeah, look, we are humbled. We think it's a phenomenal achievement to reach the 1 million mark, given the meager resources, the absence of time that we had for campaigning, and all sorts of obstacles. I mean, you can just imagine what if our advert was not banned, for example. So I had to do that dig, yeah. But on a more serious note, I think the 1 million mark, as I said, is just for bragging rights, yeah. But the most important thing, the most important statistic in my view, is the fact that we will be represented in every legislature, in all the 9 legislatures, as well as in Parliament, in the National Assembly. That is the most important thing because it creates the necessary foundation and footprint for us to contest for power in the next election.
There's an old axiom that says, be careful what you ask for you might just get it. You've just got it. What is your duty that you want to go out and do now in the weeks and months to come?
Well, our first duty is to thank those million South Africans, or more than 1 million South Africans who have placed their confidence in us, despite all the doomsayers. But the second duty is to make sure that we represent them. Literally, that we represent their voices because we're a party that stands for the poor and the working class. We're the voice of the voiceless. These are people who have always felt marginalized outside of the system. So the biggest treasonable act we can do is not to represent their voices or to soften their voices when they haven't softened their own voices. So we must expect fireworks in all those legislatures. We're going to really go with the guns blazing, and we're going to make sure that the voice of the poor is listened to with every legislation that gets passed. People must ask questions, and we want to simplify things because we want to say, look, economic freedom or economics is not something you find in textbooks. Economics is about sanitation, it's about toilets, it's about running water, it's about clean water, it's about food on the table. And that's the kind of message we will be passing to make sure that every legislation that gets passed has been proofread, as it were, for the poor.
And now at this time, of course, the counting is almost done. People would now start talking coalition politics. Are you surprised that the DA has come out? The Gauteng leader of the DA said they will never go into a coalition with the EFF. What's your reaction to that and just your stance generally on coalition?
Yeah, look, I think the madam is being presumptuous. I mean, who said we wanted a coalition with her? She's the last person who would have had a coalition with. We've said that openly, even before the results. We can't. If there are going to be coalitions in South Africa, they're going to likely be, as Helen Zille has said, will be between the ANC and the DA. Because those parties are the same thing. You know, they just differ in the letters, ANC and DA. They both believe in the NDP, they both believe in willing buyer, willing seller, they both believe in the youth wage subsidy and all other neoliberal policies. So there's nothing in common between us and them. In every legislature we'll be going there exactly to oppose what they stand for fundamentally, because we stand for the opposite. As far as coalitions are concerned generally, we have said it very clear. If anybody is talking about scrapping or adjusting Section 25 of the Constitution about the land, the returning of the land to black people. If anyone is talking about making sure that the distribution of the mineral wealth and other resources must be returned to the people as opposed to a few individuals, then of course, whoever that person is, we will vote with them in Parliament. But so, in other words, in short, I'm saying there are certain non-negotiables. Will be guided by principle rather than who it is. Yeah.
Finally, what about Section 46 and 47 of the Constitution, where we talk about the undesirable element becoming members of Parliament? There's a cloud hanging over the leader around tax issues and so forth. How are you going to deal with this specific issue as you head to Parliament going forward?
No, that issue is in the hands of the courts and will be guided by the courts. So our first battle is not so much in Parliament, it is in the courts. Yeah. If the battle is resolved in the courts, that's the end of the matter. If it is not, then of course it will be taken to Parliament. My own view is that, look, it's going to be once you are inside Parliament, to take somebody out of there is much more difficult than preventing them from coming. But having said that, look, we are a party of principle, and we are a party that is guided by principle. Our manifesto says it openly. If anyone is found guilty of corruption, they cannot represent the EFF, whether that person is Dali Mpofu or whoever it is. Yeah. So we'll be guided by principle right through, but we believe very firmly in the innocence of our Commander-in-Chief. I in particular, because of my profession, I suppose, I've discussed these matters with him, and I'm quite confident that it's all much ado about nothing, and it was just part of the political conspiracies, some of the obstacles that we've had to face, and that's what puts this 1 million votes in perspective. All the labeling, all the negative publicity, as I said, everything, making sure, threatening people. We couldn't even get donations because people are scared that if they donate to us, they will lose their tenders and all that. So this 1 million must be seen. If the playing field was level, you can multiply whatever number we got by 5 or by 6.
Mr. Mpofu, thank you very much for joining us today, and all the best going forward.
Thank you very much.
That's Mr. Dali Mpofu from the EFF, who standing at just over 1 million votes in the national results at the moment. But one of the other